We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello Aromas, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Changeling. We're here having to go now catch a black cat, which is aka Brenna, and hopefully we don't catch a normal domesticated house cat. Why did I need to catch the cat? Was it Brenna's cat? Is Elliot telling me to hold her cat hostage? But if it's Brenna's cat, why does it live at his house? Ugh, fairies. Okay, so I had a plot to catch Brenna's cat if I couldn't find her before then. For the time being, I just head up to the club room to wait for Allie. I started down the hall in that direction, but didn't get far before I saw a familiar figure down at the far end, leaning against the lockers. Spencer? Oh right, I feel like there's a ghost in him or something. What's he doing? I slowed my step, approaching cautiously. Spencer? He straightened quickly as soon as I spoke. Jeez, he looks pale. You okay? He scowled at me. Of course I am. I'm just leaving for work. He took 2 steps before he nearly hit the floor. Whoa! I caught him as he swayed. Jeez, are you okay? Just dizzy. Something's not right. What's going on? He shoved me away. Just forgot to eat lunch. You're this dizzy just from not eating lunch? I didn't have breakfast either. Not eating on top of not sleeping well, it's never a good combination. I never said I wasn't sleeping. But you aren't, are you? Come on, I'll drive you home. I don't need you to drive me. You're barely standing. I wonder if this is some sort of residual result from the incident with Adrian. Everyone had said he should recover from that quickly, though. To my surprise, Spencer actually pulled the keys out and handed them to me. That alone was enough to make me worry even more. We didn't talk during the drive home. I wanted to ask more about his condition, but I didn't even know what to say, or what I'd be implying with my questions. He'd been spending so much time with Adrian lately. It was impossible that Adrian had done it again, right? Spencer wouldn't let him. He'd say something, and given how angry Adrian was at the sheer thought of Marc using me that way, I couldn't imagine he'd do something that reckless. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Why else was Spencer so tired? Because of this ghost spooky shit. I decided I need to watch him for a few days and decide what to do. If I found out something really was going on, this time I didn't have anything holding me back from going straight to Vilos. Once we made it home, Spencer went straight to his room to sleep. I spent a little while lurking in my room, fretting, but there was nothing I could do besides worry. Maybe he really is just tired. He had been under a lot of stress. It was a lot to absorb. I told myself that, but I couldn't quite ignore the knot in my stomach. It felt like all of this was finally going to be over soon. If something happened to him now. I bit my lip anxiously, finally deciding to head outside for a bit. At any rate, he was safe in his room now. With him out of the way, I had a cat to find. Hey Chico, honey, time for bed. Yeah, I'm going soon. Working on homework? Yeah, just a random project. Okay, don't stay out too late. You and Spencer both need to try to get more sleep. I was like, why is mom telling me to go to sleep? I'm already in my bed. Or bedroom, but not in bed. I heard her footsteps retreat as I studied the journal in front of me, rereading the words I'd written after the strange encounter I had earlier. After Spencer had gone upstairs to sleep, I knew I'd have a couple of hours until Mom got home, since we returned earlier than usual. So I armed myself in an old coat and went on the hunt for Elliot's black cat, or the one he'd told me to find anyway. I wasn't sure why I was trying to catch her, but when I found her curled up, sunning herself on the recycle bin in front of his house, I sneaked up on her. In one motion, I threw the coat over her head and scooped her into my arms. Then I hightailed it to the woods with the hissing, spinning, angry bundle of a cat in a coat, feeling like a criminal. I didn't let her go until we were all past the tree line behind my house. I wasn't sure what I was expecting to tumble out of the coat while I let the cat go. It wasn't Brenna, but when I lowered the cat and opened it, the small figure that rolled out rapidly shifted into my very cranky classmate. I just stood there gaping at her while she glared at me like she was thinking how best to gut me. Brenna? You're Elliot's cat? But I didn't try to run from me at that point. Thankfully, because I was so reeling from the fact that she was a cat. In that moment, I doubt I have even thought about chasing her. Just seeing this like open, it's kind of freaking me out. Instead of an argument ensued with me trying to convince her to help me with my fairy issues. She had been less than enthusiastic. Even after I had pointed out to her that she had already helped me before, she insisted that it wasn't because she had any particular affinity for me. It was more that she just hated other fairies and wanted to be a thorn in their collective side. But she didn't think that was enough reason to reveal a major secret to me, a human. Then what do you want from me? Firstborn? Or maybe just your little brother? I'm not turning my little brother over to you. If you don't have anything of value, then I don't see why I should help you. How about because you're a decent person? No fairy is a decent person. I really couldn't argue with her there. She had started away from me at that point, clearly not intending to help, so I did the only thing I could think of. I tackled her to the ground and refused to let her leave until she helped me. She fought back. Hard. We actually wrestled in the wet leaves for quite a while. I lost several chunks of hair, to say nothing of the scratches. It was hard holding on to someone that was a cat one minute and a person the next, but I held on. This was my life, my everything at stake, and I had no intention of letting another fairy win. And finally, when I had pinned her down, both of us covered in mud and leaves and scratches, she reached up and touched my cheek in a surprisingly gentle way. She said she didn't think it would do any good, but that she would at least tell me a little bit since I was too stupid to figure it out on my own. But then all she gave me was a riddle, one I still hadn't figured out. To send a changeling far away, find it was dear to brides on their wedding day. Dear to brides on their wedding day? Like what? Friends? Family? Husband? A bloom that's graced as the first rose, a lens to spy fair folk so close. The second one rings dead men's knells, and raises the dead with fairy bells. A fairy cup to bind is steep, to find the treasure you wish to keep. 3 by 3 will be your guide, grinding flowers side by side. Mix well with what makes the rain, but bathe not, to ward off pain. In witches' hours when all is dark, safely part the twining sparks. In 7 points you must kneel, or else be loosed from Fairy Hill. With that, you set the fate of Rome and bring your stolen child home. It was probably all I could have expected from a fairy. How did you remember all that? I was so startled by the gesture that I loosened my grip on her for a second, and before I knew it, the black cat was bounding away from me into the trees. I sat in the woods reciting the poem to myself several times before I finally climbed back up to the house. Mom got home to Spencer still sleeping and me cleaning up the cat scratches on my face and arms. I mulled the riddle over through dinner, through doing the dishes, through my shower, and now I was laying on my bed still trying to figure out what it meant. The first part was definitely directions on how to make some sort of infusion I needed to drink. An infusion of flowers, not surprising since there were many flowers important in fairy lore and magic. The first rose, that one was definitely a primrose, and I was pretty sure the second flower was foxglove. I didn't know what fairy cup meant, like a bluebell or something? A tulip? Because they look like cups. Some kind of drinking utensil I had to steep the infusion in. Or that, I guessed. But I wasn't sure what that would be. Maybe a mushroom cap or something. I wrote down a few possibilities to look up. 3 by 3 will be your guide, probably telling me I needed 9 parts of each ingredient. 3 was an important number to fairies, and multiple of 3 frequently appeared as well. But what did bathe not to ward off pain mean? I can take a bath? Or maybe it was just saying I shouldn't bathe in the infusion? Wasn't the point of infusions to drink them anyway? Though I suppose logically it did make sense that in some cases you might pour a potion onto something to get the desired result. And in this case, I shouldn't do that because it would hurt. I made note of that, assuming I was at least on the right track. And witches' hours probably meant sometime between midnight and 4 a.m. In much lore, midnight was the witching hour, specifically, but sometimes it referred to the hour between 3 and 4, sometimes specifically 3:33 a.m. Regardless, since it said hours, it probably meant I didn't have to drink it right at midnight or any other specific time. Still, might be best to plan for midnight just to be safe. Alright, so in this route, I'm just going to be making the potion myself. I tapped my pencil on my chin. I had no idea what 7 points I should kneel in. The 4 cardinal directions were important sometimes, but another you stood would technically be inside the cardinal directions. Plus, what would the other 3 points be? And what did the part about being loosed from Fairy Hill mean? Isn't that what I was aiming for, to be released from Fairy? I definitely would need some help to work out all the details. I finally set the journal aside and flopped back. I didn't know how much longer Allie's herb solution was going to hold out, but I really needed to figure this out quickly. I drifted off to sleep with that thought in my head. I woke suddenly standing next to my door. I was facing it as if I had been trying to leave, which I probably had. I realized that both hands were hurting. Confused, I looked down at them and realized I'd been clenching them so hard my nails had cut into the skin. Geez, sorry to inconvenience you, little fairy, but I'm in no mood to be kidnapped tonight. Frustrated, feeling upset, I returned to my bed. I was about to crawl back under the blankets when I heard a strange sound coming from the bathroom. Or Spencer's room. Again. Oh god. I left my room and went quickly. Oh god, what if he's like a morbid looking thing? Went quickly through the bathroom to peek in his door. I'm not ready. His room felt really dark. Why is he always leaving his window open? It's freezing in here. I tiptoed into his room, intending to shut the window again. Given the time of year, leaving it open was probably dangerous too. Who even knew it might slip inside? I was about halfway across the room when Spencer sat up in bed. Suddenly, I froze, staring at him wide-eyed. He didn't really seem to notice me at all. He looked in my direction blearily, but it was like he didn't even see me there. Don't take her. It's my fault. Is he still asleep? He muttered something incoherently. With a frown, I went to his bedside. He was still mumbling. Spencer? He finally looked at me, expression confused. I wasn't sure he was really fully awake. Michiko? You were talking in your sleep and you left your window open. You really need to stop doing that. Can't leave it. Oh, shut it. Just go to sleep already. Okay? He shut his eyes, surprisingly compliant. I got up and closed the window, pulling the curtain shut. I left him there and turned to my room. Poor guy. I still had a lot of frustration built up over the last few years, but it seemed like everything that happened was hitting him pretty hard. I couldn't help but worry about him. No matter what Marc said, it really seemed like he'd suffered quite a bit. The mental stress he'd been under and was under now had to be pretty tremendous. I flopped back into bed, staring at the ceiling. I wanted it to be over. All of it. And I worried that even if I managed to reverse what had been done to me, he and I were both part of this world now. What if it was never really over? I don't know, bro. Fairy Trots, Chapter 10. October 29th. You guys can't see that, but that's the date. I was curled on my bed, the fading daylight filtering through my curtains. Allie had just texted that she couldn't make it tomorrow. I was definitely disappointed, but I didn't want her to worry about me when she had other things to think about. I quickly tapped in a message and sent. It's okay, I'll spend the day stockpiling food and weapons for the apocalypse. Just go make sure this isn't my last night on Earth. Ha ha. I fell back, letting my phone fall on the pillow as I contemplated what I'd be doing all weekend by myself. Not really stockpiling weapons for the apocalypse, just trying to figure out a riddle while not kidnapping myself a guess. Because that was definitely a completely normal and sane weekend activity. You're really okay, right? Oh my god, yes! Chill out and focus on your gate duty or whatever. By the way, please be sure to keep using the herbs every night. There's a stray gate that opens in the year this time of year. In the area, not in the year, in this time of year. We haven't figured out where it might open, and I don't want you sleepwalking your way into it. I definitely will. I hesitated a moment, staring down at my phone. I didn't know if I should ask about him, but I bit my lip and quickly sent another message. Is Marc helping you guys out? I saw him at the office. Yeah. He's still not okay? Not okay was an understatement. Things between us were awful. The worst moment I'd had in the past few days was sitting with him in literature when it was clear neither of us wanted to be there. We'd read the assignment because we had to, but it was a terse at best. Much like my first day at school when it had been obvious he didn't want me there. Today there had been sort of an undercurrent of nastiness. I'd half expected him to just walk out the entire time. I didn't know if it was concern about his grades or just sheer stubbornness that kept him from it. Either way, I didn't even know what to tell Allie. Ugh. You still need to tell me what's going on. I know, but don't worry about it right now. Focus on work. I will call you tomorrow, then tell me everything. As long as some eldritch horror is an insulting town, I keep telling you that won't happen. I'm preparing my anti-tentacle defense plan just in case. Pain in the butt. I set my phone down and rolled to my side. Allie never failed to cheer me up, but I was still ready for the weekend. I couldn't face another day of literature with Marc, not without a breakup for my own sanity. I hated that he had just adopted to a strategy of treating me like a stranger again. Worse than a stranger, really. I still didn't understand how he could easily just switch to hating me like that. I hated that, even with Allie supporting me and helping me. I was gonna say hating, because she said hate so much earlier. I felt alone without him next to me, snarking, being cranky, and all of that. I took a deep breath. I can do alone. I've done alone for a really long time now. I had and I could, but it felt lonelier now than it had in a really long time. Bruh, I don't need this sad emotional shit. because I don't want to cry. Stupid fairies. Marc could say that he wanted say what he wanted about humans, but fairies were horrible. I flopped onto my stomach, clutching a pillow. It was scary, but it was mostly just infuriating. That was the real issue. I was so freaking angry. How could any being think it was fine to take another and use them like that? I mean, I'm just trying to think of the animal that does that, but I can't think of any. Spiders, right? Do the spiders do that? I don't know. I knew that people said fairy morals were often very different. It was not all spiders. I'm thinking of a certain spider, right? I don't know. I know I'm gonna Google that. I don't want to see spiders. We're often very different from human, but how could they justify this? They can't justify it. And I can't justify continuing on because, your girls all the time. They were evil, either evil or just insane. I have a feeling Marc's gonna come visit us. Or Marc's been watching us as an owl. Because we still don't know that he's an owl. I don't think. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
touch it.